Hi, everybody. This is Bryan Kortis from Neighborhood Cats. I just wanted to share my thoughts on what's going on with the coronavirus around the country right now. And I know this is a tough time for people who work with community cats. Many of us cannot go outside to go trapping, or we can't travel if we're in one of the shutdown states. And even if you're not, it's probably not always a safe thing to do if you can't be alone. Also, in a lot of these shutdown states, I know the ones that we have programs in, the spay neuter clinics are closing. They're not considered essential services. So even if you can go out and trap, it's difficult to find the services that you need. And of course, this could not be happening at a worse time for those of us who are in the TNR field. We're coming into kitten season. There's a lot of pregnant cats out there. So it's quite frustrating to not be able to take action at a time when you would probably be your busiest. I think my message to you is that we shouldn't let ourselves despair and kind of sink into that frustration at this time. Uh, in every crisis, there is opportunity, and the key is being able to adapt. It's accepting the limitations that we face and then working within them to do what we can do. And there is still a lot of need out there. So let's talk about that. First thing that came to our mind when we kind of powwowed here at Neighborhood Cats and said, so what are we going to do for what may be months to come of this? And we realized, well, especially in the shutdown states, there's a lot of people who just can't get outside. There are elderly people who are high risk and may be under doctor's orders not to leave the house. And we know that we have a lot of elderly feeders and caretakers in our community. So one of the things that we're doing is we're trying to find them. You can do that too. You can reach out and see who needs help and try to find them, get them a temporary feeder who can take their place. Sometimes they can get out, but they can't, it's not safe for them to go to the stores. So help them get food. There's a food shortage, cat food shortages in a lot of places now. So track down where food is available and dispense that information, not just to caretakers in need, but to all caretakers in your community. So you can serve as a kind of information hub that way. There are injured and sick cats that need help. And one of the things that's good is even in the shutdown states, veterinarians providing emergency medical care is considered an essential service. And you might even find a veterinarian who would consider like spaying a pregnant cat to fall under an emergency. So find out what veterinary services are available in your area and be available to assist people who do have these sick and injured cats. And in that regard, you may be thinking like, well, how are we going to do that? We don't have any money. A big thing that you can do right now is fundraising online. And if you haven't done that before, this is a great time to learn how to do it, to use tools like that are available from Network for Good or other services that you can pay for, or GoFundMe. Be aware they do take a 10% cut, but it's worth it. It's a good service. And don't be afraid to, the way to go about it is if you have a cat that needs veterinary care, get a good photo of that cat and write up their story and put it out there and just let your supporters know we need funds to help this cat. And we've done that, and we've been really surprised at how strong the response has been. And we've also seen what we've heard is shelters around the country, when they are reaching out to their communities to say, can you help us take these animals in, because we're trying to empty our shelter, that the response has been far greater than what we all expected. And it seems that the public, especially those who care about animals are eager to help. So get out there and reach out to them, let them know what you're doing, and give them that opportunity to support what you're doing. You can take in and socialize kittens if you're able to safely go out or have someone bring them and drop them off for you. And remember, in all this, you want to maintain the social distancing. You don't want to do anything that's unsafe and might expose you or someone else to this virus. But um, just be aware that uh, this may be some time. If you take in some 8-week-old kittens, they may be 6 months by the time you're able to adopt them. So, be careful about that. Assess the time and space and resources you have. But one of the things that's happening is people can still go to the shelters, a lot of these shelters, to adopt by appointment, but a lot of them don't have any animals around anymore. So there'll probably be some pent-up demand when this is all over. But again, be realistic about what you can handle. One of the ways, if you could also not wait and try to do adoptions and be creative about doing it online. Use Zoom, use freeconferencecall.com has a video conferencing app that's free, and interview people over Zoom. Show your kittens and your cats over Zoom. And if you're satisfied, don't let go of the things like I got to do a home visit and I got to do a vet check, and just trust your instincts this way. Have people come. You can leave the cat in a carrier just outside your door. They can pick the cat up. You can do this in a safe way. It's a matter of being creative. Another thing you can do is take this time to learn, to watch those webinars that you've been meaning to listen to all those great Community Cats podcast. I'm sorry, the CCP podcasts, and you can set up your cat stats database. Go to catstats.org, and you can register for free. And by entering colonies and information about numbers of cats and locations, you can map all the TNR work that you're doing. You can go online to look for volunteers and foster homes and train them remotely. So build a network. If you don't have, you can get a great online group at a site called groups.io. That's groups.io. That's a free service too. And build a network and stay in touch with each other, help each other out in your community. And also, just as people are isolated, that's something that will help people, connect. So through all this, keep in mind that this is a very dark period, and I think it's going to get darker before it gets better, but it's going to end. And we, as people who have made a lot of strides in terms of getting community cat populations under control, making sure they're cared for humanely, we can't afford to sit around and wait for this to end and do nothing. We have to adapt and find ways that we can help wherever we can, and take advantage of the downtime to make ourselves stronger and be ready to go when it's done. So hang in there, and the cats are going to thank you for it.